Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this 3 days conference on my personal development plan for 2023, or rather, I keep on making that mistake. So, this program is normally supposed to run from the 28th to the 30th of December 2022, and morning session starts at 5 a.m. That's GMT +1. Why evening session actually starts. So normally it's supposed to be a maximum of a 1 hour training. Today I promise I'm not going to take up to that 1 hour. We had a morning session today which was quite interesting based on the feedback I received from you guys, for those who took part in it in the morning. And this evening we are going to be having another special session. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge all the partners of this program. I want to acknowledge Peace Heart Innovators. I want to acknowledge Community Development Pathway Foundation. I want to acknowledge Excellent Preparatory Classes. I want to acknowledge Ajua Market. I want to acknowledge Global Creativity Organization. I want to acknowledge Smart Kids Foundation. I want to acknowledge Senandro Mentorship Forum, and I equally want to acknowledge Tecritoma Incorporated. I want to thank all them because it's due to their corporate effort that we are able to have this training and making sure that you are able to plan for your 2023 appropriately. I am Andropo Fajuata Ajebwa. I'm actually a mentor at the Senandro Mentorship Forum, and actually I'm a software developer. In the morning we had a session which was quite interesting, and I did mention the fact that for you to be able to take a lot into this training, you must understand the motive behind every session. By now, I expect you to must have had a notepad, a jotter, that you're able to take down some notes and start working on your planning for 2023 based on the information that is being provided to you. In the morning, I was focusing on planning for a balanced life or living a balanced life. So I encourage everyone during the morning session to be able to plan for a balanced 2023. And it was a quite interesting session because we actually had the different areas which you were normally supposed to plan in it for you to live a balanced 2023 and accomplish much. So if you didn't follow the morning session, you can check the Senandro Mentorship Forum YouTube channel. The record of the meeting is there, so that you don't miss out something. This evening we are going to, like we did mention in the morning, we're going to be doing a completion of the morning session, which was living a balanced life, and looking into something detailed for this evening session. The motive behind living a balanced life was for you to be able to pick out those areas in which you are going to be planning on them. So you don't want to plan effectively in one area and recognize that your life is going excellently in one area and the other area is falling down just because you were not able to look widely when you were doing your planning. So I came with these three broad areas which I asked you guys a question that if you have planning in the three broad areas, if you assess them and plan for them, is there anything in this wide world that will be more than you? And the answer was no, because if you plan in the three different areas which we did mention in the morning, then you have covered all areas of your life that is able to give you a balanced life. So that's a flyer. I'm a presenter under this organization. That's why this flyer is there. Tomorrow morning we are going to be having Mr. Otto. He's going to be talking on setting smart goals and implementing them. So you don't want to miss that. He is actually coming from Community Development Pathway Foundation. You get to know more about that tomorrow morning. Now, planning a balanced life, this is just a recap for the morning session. We did mention the fact that there are three forces that control this world. The first area, and you have to plan in these three forces, because if you're balanced in these three areas, then you're probably walking an excellent life. So the first area which we mentioned in the morning was your spiritual life. Your second area which we mentioned in the morning was your financial life. And the third area is your educational life. I did explain detailedly about these things in the morning, so it's not my portion to go through them this evening. One thing you will need to understand is that this is like a circle. One area affects the other. It therefore means that if you are balanced spiritually, you're balanced spiritually, you have a relationship with God, and you understand a lot of spiritual principle that controls and govern this world, and you have no financial life, there will still going to be a problem. And that's the reason why in the life of many young people, many adults, many children, we have this problem. Because you see people in church which are so spiritual, they are so God-centered, they are so focused, but financially they are very, very broke. And even the Bible says the wisdom of a poor is not being hurt. And even the Bible says money answereth everything. This is a scriptural quotation that you need to pay attention to. We equally mention that there are a lot of people, we quote the scenario of Steve Jobs, who had a lot of money, had some degree of education, but died of cancer of the blood because he had no spiritual backing. We equally spoke about your educational life. We gave a lot of example there. So this was just a morning session. I thought this as much to do this recap. Now, today, this evening session, we want to focus on personal SWOT analysis. Now, the idea is I have shown you the different areas which you should be able to plan. Somebody else will come and talk about planning, different type of planning, action plan. I think we are going to be receiving that from Smart Kids Foundation. She's going to be talking about that maybe the other day, maybe on the third year. So my own position is to create you the different areas for you to be able to see the different areas that you should be able to plan on them, and how you should assess your planning, where you should plan, and they will come and talk about the different things. Now, personal SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? This is actually a principle or a technique used by companies to actually better the growth and improvement of the achievement of that company or of that organization. Like I said in the morning, get to think about this. If you have an organization with diverse people, with different minds, divided attention, and they are able to come together, come up with a SWOT analysis, and try to achieve one single goal and actually achieve it, or achieve some degree of the goal which they set, what will become of you if you bring that principle of an organization into your personal life? You with a single focus, one mind, with corporate strategic effort to achieve that your personal goal. How will it look like? You realize that most of us, we work in company, we live in schools, that people always have board meetings to plan on how success will go for the organization. But us, we never create that time to analyze ourselves. If you don't analyze yourself, you will never see the loopholes that you are actually supposed to be working towards to make it an achievement. See, you cannot measure what you cannot assess. Now, what is SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is simply, the S is an acronym, and S stands for your strength, your personal strengths. W stands for your weaknesses. O stands for opportunities and T stands for threats. Now, can you be honest to yourself? That's the question. Can you be honest to yourself when asking yourself these 4 different questions? What are my strengths? When you're talking about what are my strengths, you're talking about what are my strengths financially? What are my strengths spiritually? What are my strengths educationally? Because we have said that these are the 3 forces that control this world. If you can answer that question honestly, in all the 3 forces that control this world, then you are preparing yourself for greatness. What are your weaknesses? What are the threats towards your life or your job? What are the opportunities that await you in the future? Do you know that there are many people that don't prepare themselves for opportunity in the future? And that's the reason why in most companies today, you have problem. Colleague struggling as much as possible to remove other colleagues from job, angry with other colleague. He has been boss for the next 10 years, and even promotion is coming, they still want to promote him. Why? Because few people understand planning for opportunity in the future, while many of the others never plan for it. So the one who has planned and is developing himself for opportunity in the future is being promoted, and many other people are angry for him or her. Why? Because they don't give time to analyze themselves. This might go in school, in church. We see this on daily basis, on marketplace. He's always bringing his goods in the market. He's the only one selling. Why are we not selling? Why are many customers coming to him? Many people will say that he's using witch, he's using this, he's using medicine. I hear a lot of things on daily basis. Remember, there is no witch doctor. There are no village people attached to your future. The only village person to your future is you. The question is, can you be honest to yourself? Can you be honest? You know, if you are honest, there are many people that when they get to ask themselves questions about their life, they want to cover their ears not to hear. Just like the picture you see there, maybe by your right or by your left. They want to cover their ears. You know why? Because each time they want to think about themselves, analyze themselves, they see nothing to celebrate about. And since they see nothing to celebrate about, you see the questions like, "Na so my own thing they dey. This I just come for this way for can live some people." Those are the pidgin slang that we hear people say on daily basis. But the question in 2023 is, can you be honest to yourself? Can you ask yourself this question? What are my strengths like? Can you take the pain of sitting down and looking at that your weaknesses and said, I'll convert this my weakness to my strength? What are your weaknesses financially? What are your weaknesses educationally? What is that course that seems so difficult to you? Have you given time to that course? Can you be honest to yourself? Do you know one of the most painful things in this life is that people don't have time for themselves? There are many people who have time for their job. They have time for the course they study in school. They have time for the food they eat. They have time for a lot of things, but they never have time for themselves. What's the reason for your job? It's because you want money. What's the reason why you're going to school? Because at the end of the day, you need a job. Why are you connected to this friend or that friend? Just because he will help me tomorrow with 100 or 200. You see, you make other people your source, but you forget to make yourself the resource. Because until you make yourself the resource, you will never become your own source. So, these 4 areas is what, before 1st of January, Don't say, I will do this in January. The temptation of procrastination is what brings premature destruction. So you have to give time to yourself. Start early to finish strong. Be honest to yourself. Take the pain to get the shame early enough to celebrate the success and the strength in it in the future. Personal SWOT analysis. Let's just review some few things on SWOT analysis. Personal analysis of an individual. So, like we already said, we say you're talking about, I'm sharing my screen with you. If you can't see very well, put your phone on landscape or your computer or whatever device you're using. Personal assessment of an individual's strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Inward look at what make a person value. What make your value? Who are you? What are the unique things that are in you that cannot be found in someone else? If they are not there, invest in yourself and make them. God didn't create a failure. Everybody that came into this world has a unique responsibility, has a unique talent no other person can actually replace. What areas need to be worked on? Take the pain to assess yourself, identify the areas that need to be worked on, and work on it. Let me give you a simple example in my life. See, I usually say that until you add value to yourself, people will not value you. Many people don't understand what I usually say because I've actually lived it. That's why I'm saying it. When I came in the university in 2013, nobody knew me. Nobody. I will come to school. If a class is starting at 9 o'clock, I will come at 9. Immediately end, I will leave at 9 o'clock because nobody knew me at that time. Why? Because I had no value. What could they have benefit for me? Because I knew nothing on my own even. I realized is that life, the achievement, the goals I have in my mind, who I want to become in the future, will not be achieved with the type of person I was seeing. I knew I had to work on my communication skills. I had to work on my financial life. I had to work in a lot and a lot of things. I started adding value to myself. In those days, I would sleep in the bed, wake up in the morning, check my phone. Nobody has called. And I'm tempted to ask myself questions like, who knows me? Who even knew me? But brothers and sisters, today, every day, I receive messages for people seeking for means for me to help them, not less than 40,000 WhatsApp messages. Until I even had to develop a robot to help me respond to those messages. Because I took a day and I took 4 hours out of it just to respond to WhatsApp messages. And I knew this was not good for my health. Can you look at that area in you that has a weakness and work on it? What thing a person can take advantage of? What are the things in you, in other words, that other persons can take advantage of? Because it's not just what you get from people, it's what you can give up. What threatens the ability to take advantage of opportunities? So those are threats. How will your SWOT analysis help you? It will help identify personal, managerial, educational, spiritual, technical strengths and weaknesses. It will help identify missing link in your career path. It will help identify position, function in which people excel, which they might need additional training. So you realize is that a personal SWOT analysis, just like a company does its SWOT analysis, a personal SWOT analysis is all about bringing out the better version in you. Now, I've already defined this already, but I will simply just go through this so that the definition of the various area of SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis. So the strength. What is strength? It is internal positive aspects that are under your control. So these are things that you can control when you talk about your strength. Normally, if something is your strength, it therefore means that at least you have 80% control over them. That is things you are really good at. Do you know that the problem I said one time, I said the educational curriculum in Africa has been programmed to fail the Africans. The educational system of Africa, especially Cameroon, is programmed to fail the student. You'll be shocked to hear this, but I will tell you this, and I can say this anywhere, anytime, and any moment I go. Also for this reason. You know, we have been trained in the past. You know, in the past, we used to look at those who go to technical school like those guys, we are better than them who went to grammar school and all the rest. Our parents have cultured us to know that the only way to succeed in this life is to go very far in school. But I will shock you to tell you this, that there are many cafe resto owners, barbers, taxi drivers that are more successful in this life than some of us that went to that school that they were telling us to go have the master, the PhD. And that's the reason why we have many professors with very broke professor, very broke medical doctor, very insured. Why? Because their system, they have little or no entrepreneurial skills in them. So they have been trained to work for people. We are not trained to use the talent that is in us to help us. In Europe, if you say you want to become a pilot, or if you say you identify you when you're teenage age that you can sing very well, they start training you from that age to become a musician. That's not the case with us. We follow general trends. Then at the end of the day, we leave school maybe with biochemistry, microbiology, or law and political science. You have to say, where will I work? And you start carrying documents every day, moving from one end to another, because the talent in you, that was your strength, was not being developed when you were still growing. Value you have to offer. So those are all the things we can consider to be strength. We can talk about them for God knows how long. For the sake of time, we will need to move ahead. The next thing is your weakness. Those are internal negative aspects that are under your control and that you can improve. So your weakness doesn't mean, people usually say, I heard people say, everybody has a weakness. That's my weakness. So you not capitalize on my weakness. When your weakness takes a prolonged period of time in you and is still your weakness, it's proof that you are not growing. It's proof that you are not assessing yourself. I said one time, failures work on assumption, while successful people work on assessment. The assumption is my weakness. Now, so my own sin in thee. That's how I was born to be. Everybody has those are assumptions. They will lead to premature destruction. Lack of experience. You say you are a software engineer. You say you are in music. You are in a choir in church. Have you been improving your experience? The way you sang that song last year, can you do it a better way this year? Limited knowledge. Even Bible says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. I've seen people who say, I must not know everything. You see, young people, at times, when I talk to young people, you see, because I see you listening to me now, the reason why you're here, the reason why we're organizing conference, what are they paying us for the conference? Nothing. Who pays all the organization? Nothing. Who pays me for my time? Nothing. It's because I look at you and I realize is that there is a potential in you, there is a weakness in you that if you work on it, it's going to become your strength. So you must work on improving your knowledge in different areas. Every year when it's coming, I always have a new business idea. I always analyze myself as I need to improve knowledge. In software engineering, in short, in my career as a software engineer, on daily basis, I'm learning. I'm a learner. Every day I learn something. There are days I get angry with myself because I've not learned something. to provoke for me to improve so that I can lead to an improved career development. The next thing there is opportunities. Now, when you're looking at those definitions, be careful. There are things we talk about internal and there are things we talk about external. So be careful with the definitions you're going along. Opportunity. Positive external conditions that are not under your control, but which you may be able to take advantage. Company growth. When they say next year there's going to be a vacancy for a manager in a company that you work, can you look at yourself and start looking at what are the responsibilities of a manager in that company? Or next year Cameroon or Nigeria or Ghana will be employing 10,000 graduates, recently graduated students. Can you look at the conditions while you're still in school? Can you look at the conditions that they'll be taking? What skills will be required? Can you monitor opportunities and take them before they arrive? Skill shortage. A whole lot and lots and lots and lots and lots. This world is always giving us opportunities. The problem in Africa is not lack of job, it's lack of skills. You'll be shocked if you see a lot of young people that want to apply for a job the way they write their application letter. You'll be shocked the lack of knowledge. Do you know that? I was thinking the other day while thinking about planning for this conference and planning for the year. I was like, do you know that there are a lot of believers, Christians, they pray on daily basis, pray for a long period of hours. Do you know one thing? Many of them have not asked themselves the question why they don't receive answers for their prayer. It's because many pray a lot without even planning to pray. They pray without planning to pray. So they don't know what they are praying for. So you need to prepare for opportunities. You see, I'm not just talking. Whatever I'm giving in this conference, you need to realize I'm giving a practical aspect of my life. See, my career path, my academics is a little bit scary. I entered the university in 2013 as University of Buya. I picked up a bachelor program in biochemistry, finished it in 3 years, picked up masters in molecular biology. At the end of the day, I dumped it because it was not giving me what I actually expected. And at the end of the day, I actually wanted to do something which would probably be that impactful, but I was not seeing that coming. So I had to go back and pick up a competitive exam into College of Technology for Engineering, which I actually entered into it. Before I entered the College of Technology, I made up my mind. I said, before I finish, graduate, I must have created a software company. That was one of my achievements. I actually said that I am probably, just 1 minute like that, please. So I actually said, I'm going to be the best student equally in that particular department. Now, those were my goals I set. But during that period, I realized that was not all. Starting up a company, becoming the best I'm going to need. So I said I'll never carry my application to any company that I want to look for a job, as I'll prepare myself for companies to look for me. Behold, during that first semester in the College of Technology, I was the best in the whole College of Technology. The records are there, verifiable. Now, during that first year, at the end of the first year, Google launched a competition for Google Developer Student Club. During that process, close to about 3,000 Cameroonians that applied. I was selected, and I started working in Google in 2019. I was all about Google Developer Student Club in the University of Buya. From then till now, I have been turning down jobs opportunity. Consecutively. There is a recent one at MTN MTN Cameroon gives job opportunity for best student in the University of Buea. I was the best in the software engineering in my department. I didn't even have time to apply for that one. Prepare yourself for opportunities. Prepare yourself. Now, the next thing is threats. Negative external conditions that are not under your control, but the effect of which you may be able to lessen. See obstacles, competition, and all the rest. The question is, you need to realize that you are always going to be having threats. And if you don't know how to solve threats, you're going to become a problem to the organization in which you're working, because you will think everybody hates you. There are people you just go to hospitals today, software companies, schools, you will hear what people will say. Some even say that there's tribalism here, there's corruption here and all that. There's corruption, it's true, but for most cases, it's not even corruption. The people who complain, they don't even have the required skills. This great man of God said one thing. He said, the people you are struggling to remove in position in a company, can you replace them? It was Apostle Johnson that said that. Can you replace them? You discover that people hate people for responsibility they cannot even take when they are not there. Threats. They have not give time to develop themselves. So can you give time to assess the threats in your spiritual life? Because there is really threat in your spiritual life. You need to listen to me today. There is really threat. In your financial life, there is really threat. In your educational life, there is threat. You see, if you enroll in a 3 years program in a university and you don't graduate after that 3 years, there is threat. So there is threat for 450. There is threat. After 3 years in school, your mother and your father is expecting you to pick up a job, and you finish and come back home and start staying in the house. They want neighbor now start asking your neighbor. It means that they don't need for anyone to go to school now, because every your son or your daughter that went to school, just like you are older than you. You are a threat to the community. You are a threat to the educational system. You are a threat. So you need to give time. Give time. Give time. Give time to yourself. Discover yourself. I said in the morning, the worst thing for you to actually encounter in this life is to meet people that have not met themselves. The question is, have you met yourself? Have you met yourself? On the next slide there, we'll look at. So we discover that SWOT analysis is a matrix based on what we have said we have looked up to already. SWOT analysis is a matrix. So it's a matrix where you have strength, weaknesses. The strength, weaknesses, they are the internal assessment, while opportunities and threats are the external assessment of your target industry, job, career, whatever. So my question is, you need to work on these 4 aspects in the various areas of life: your financial life, your educational life, your spiritual life. Work on this, assess them. Create time for yourself, brothers and sisters. Create time. Give some. See, you realize that this world will be incomplete without you. Do you know that? Do you know that there's no age for money? The former registrar of the University of Buea, Mr. Professor Moliwa, he said one thing. He said the reason why you are broke in life is because you are connected to many broke people. Nothing ever shocking in his class like this way. So I have to start be thinking about even the people that are connected to me. And I told myself, I have close to about 4,000 contacts on my phone. Therefore means that I might be having close to about 30,000 broke people. So I have to be careful. When you are able to analyze and assess yourself, you discover that your strengths will create opportunities for you, while your weaknesses will create threats for you. But if you can convert your weaknesses to your strength, then threats will become opportunities to you. SWOT analysis example. I have that example there. You can take a screenshot to read yourself. Because of time, we might not be able to go through them. That's just an example that you have to look onto. I think that was the session this evening. I've been talking too much. I want to ask if anybody has any question. And if you have a question, you can answer. I will check on it now. Are there any questions? Anything I said? Okay, Caleb, you understand everything that was said in the question?
Yes, yeah, I'm okay with everything.
Aisha.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you ask a question?
No, sir, everything is okay with me.
Everything is okay with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Emil, any question connected?
Hello, sir.
Yes, evening, sir.
Evening. Are you getting me?
Okay. Okay, Mr. Ototu is here. So, any questions in the body session? John, is there any? John, is there any question?
I have a question now.
Okay. The person with the question. Yeah, me, ask your question.
Yeah, okay. Actually, you've taught very well on personal development plan. And from your teaching, it shows that everyone has to be a master of something.
Yes.
Like to be creative, a startup or business and all those things like that. So I used to find out that somebody who does not have anything then wants to work under an employer. So what are the probability that this person too can succeed, become a master of his own company?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the question. I think I would say the probability is 1, and that's percentage rating 100%. Now, I will take myself for example. Let me take myself for example. I started working in Verfi Technology as a software developer before I even founded my own company, Techritoma Incorporated. I started working with Verfi Technology. During that process, how much were they paying me? You'll be shocked to hear what they were paying me. They were paying me 30,000 francs. So let me say I was doing voluntary work. Because I had to pay transport, 300 francs per day, my internet connection per month, 10,000. So let me just say I was doing voluntary service. But I was working to acquire skill, administrative procedure, and a whole lot of other things. So it's just a commitment of the individual that is working under somebody. You must work under somebody. That's just the reality. Everybody, probably you have to spend something because you have to learn. You cannot become a boss. For you to become a boss, you must become a follower. I said one time, servantship is the only proof of leadership. So working under somebody, you have close to about, let me just say, 100% certainty that you can become a boss one day, depending on your determination and your planning for who or for what you want to actually create in the nearest future. I don't know whether I answer your question, sir.
Yeah. Actually, you've answered it very well because someone has to get some skills from other employers, and the person is really becoming now have to actually start with our own business career.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Any other question? John, do you have a question? Okay, I think there is
no, sir.
Okay, that's good. I think there's a question in the chat room. I'll just read it.
It seems somebody has
Come again, sir.
It seems somebody have dropped a question on the chat box.
Yes, thank you, sir. I have this person. He say, also, sir, please, how can you carry on with school at the same time learning personal skills? It's just a matter of time management. I just believe that we'll have time to teach on time management and multitasking. I just feel that we'll have time to bring one of the speakers to talk about that. It's possible. It's possible for you to, in short, it's possible for me. For me, I'm a software developer at Monifex or Crystal Finance, Bamenda. I'm a software developer there. I'm still a student. I'm working in about three other places. It's just a matter of multitasking and developing other soft skills. But one of the principles of multitasking is that you must be able to, first of all, do one thing excellently before you can probably dive into another thing. We'll talk about that. I believe someone will be able to talk about that. Okay, I think that is that. If there are no other questions, then I think we can end the session. Any other question? Are there any other question, please?
I'm not there.
Okay. So tomorrow we are going to be having Mr. Otto. He's probably the founder and CEO of Community Development Pathway Foundation. So, sir, I'm sure tomorrow you're going to be talking about setting SMART goal and implementing it. Is that it? Are we confirming that, sir?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, guys, thank you guys so much for joining. Please try as much as possible to follow the YouTube channel. And this flyer is on the WhatsApp group. If you are here, you are not on the WhatsApp group, please try as much as possible to join. This flyer is on the WhatsApp group. Please share on your social media, on your Facebook page, your WhatsApp status, and any other social platform you can share to let other people know that something like this is taking place. You don't know who might need it equally. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night.
Okay.
Please don't forget tomorrow 5 a.m. Please, 5 a.m. tomorrow.